Welcome to the start of a brand new journey. For me personally. Hi, I'm Matt Canoy. And welcome to One Piece at a Time, where I go through One Piece.
In section, you can't read One Piece in a day, guys. Let's be honest here. So I've sectioned it off the best I could. He asked me what I should read. I'm Aidan Hopgood, by the way, resident One Piece expert. Been reading the story for about 15 years now, so I might have forgotten a lot, but I'm here to offer insight on your journey, and I cannot wait to live it again through your eyes.
This all started when we first met about 2-ish months ago, bouldering. And for some reason...
Shout out Hollywood Boulders.
Hollywood Boulders, my home.
All right.
But he would always bring up small references to One Piece. Oh, we're climbing or training or and just callbacks to particular episodes. I'm not sure how it would relate. There would always be some kind of reference that
hopefully in a non-cringe way.
I wouldn't say it was cringe. It was interesting.
Sweet.
Because I've always known that One Piece would be good.
You also have known for a very long time in your life that One Piece existed, and it's always been there. Consistently.
I just had sectioned out time. It's if I'm gonna watch this one anime, if that's my time block, I'm gonna watch that. I'm gonna read this. I'm gonna read that. And then over the years, I'm just oh yeah, One Piece. I'm wow, One Piece is a lot now.
Yeah, it got bigger and bigger, and you're I'm starting to find less and less time to read this story now.
It's kind of a daunting task.
Anyways, you've started your journey.
I have started a journey.
All right.
And I think it's just kind of in line because, in one way, I'm helping you on your climbing journey.
Oh, that's true. You are my climbing shepherd.
Shepherd.
Maybe
Shepherd's a weird term.
No, because I only say it because somebody called you that one time.
Wait, who called me a shepherd?
I don't know, but I'm going with it. That's your epithet, actually, for this series. You're the shepherd.
Oof.
Maybe it'll change. As your name and reputation in these One Piece seas gets more and more out there, maybe your epithet will change.
One Piece seas?
The seas of One Piece. On this journey.
Wait. Before we get into this.
Yeah.
And this might be a bit hyperbolic, but what is the community like in its current stage of One Piece online? What's your take?
They're just a bunch of fucking weirdos, dude.
A bunch of weirdos.
But
okay.
I love them. Listen. I'm joking about that. The One Piece community is great. What the main strike against them is that they love this story, and I love this story too. I love this story. It's been there through a lot of parts of my life, and they want
3/5.
15 years, so I'm 25 now, so over half.
60%.
60% of my life it's been there. I started when I was 10 years old. Now, the main strike against them is that they want other people to experience this story. One of the reasons I'm so happy being here now is that I get to experience this again through your eyes.
Yeah. And then you can help fill in gaps in a non-intrusive, read the entire wiki kind of way.
I mean, think about it like this. There's a lot of... It's not even just One Piece. Good stories out there that really impact somebody, that really have an effect on somebody that you think about pretty much the rest of your life. It hits you on an emotional level. It impacts you, and whether it helps you through something, whether it teaches you about life. I think a majority of One Piece fans just want other people to have those lessons through the story that they read. And I understand how that's annoying because people don't know how to communicate that. People don't say that.
I would say they try to communicate it, but just in going through One Piece's storytelling right now, it's kind of a lot to sum up to a person.
It's too much to sum up to a person.
You need to somehow, I hate to say this, you have to almost bait and snatch them.
You can bait and snatch,
and then One Piece might be good. It's
listen. This is what I believe is the most elevated level of thinking for a One Piece fan. Where I'm at, you gotta let people just find the story and go on their own journey. It's a lot. It's a long story. You can't tell somebody, hey, you gotta read this story because it's awesome. But by the way, it's 1,030 something chapters. You know, it's actually an unfair and disrespectful ask to tell somebody to do that. You know,
it's like, oh yeah, get into this thing that I love. Because 1,030.
Right, and that's just not respectful of somebody's time at that point, and then they're not going to want to hear it.
Yeah, and which is why, like, personally for me, I've had a weird feeling lately where I wanted to go on like some kind of creative journey, like some kind of medium or like a series or something. I've been like trying to figure out what that thing is, what that itch could be filled with.
Wow, like, you found a good one.
And I found a good itch. I feel like
boy, did you find that? Did you scratch that itch with this one?
But this is very specific.
Okay.
When I want to get into these itches, I want to make sure that it's in a space where I can have some pretty serious discourse about it. Like, I want to get in deep. And I find it better for me getting into something big like this because there's, like, already so deep of a lore or hole to go down.
Yeah.
And that is fun.
And I think, I mean, again, the first few episodes of this podcast are going to be excruciating to me because I want to tell you so much and I cannot tell you so much at the same time.
Yeah, you can just look at the camera and give them a look, and I'm just going to have to be like,
but
I'll know someday.
You know, there's a lot of deep stuff in this story, believe it or not. There's a lot of life lessons in this story, and, you know, sure, it will absolutely fulfill that creative itch or that soul-searching journey, eat, pray, love, whatever you want to call it. You know,
not a bad movie.
I beg to differ on that one. You could. I'm not even going to go down that road right now, actually, with you.
There's bad, good, bad, and good.
On your journey, I think you're going to get even more out of... And, of course, you're going to get more out of what you're thinking right now, because how could you even know, right? Yeah. You've read chapters, what, now? 1
to 68.
Okay.
You decided that, well, I wanted to find a way to put them in, like, big enough chunks where it felt like I went through, like, a sizable amount of, like, events. Or, like, enough, like, thick, like, story-provoking events. And where I ended was at the end of...
Say it right.
Baratie.
Oh, my fucking God.
Oh, baratie.
Baratie. It's a restaurant on the seas. It has to be French. If One Piece represents life, and it's a restaurant with a fish head on it,
whoa,
it has to be baratie.
How does that have to be baratie?
Have you seen how tall Chef Zeph's hat is? He's French.
Oh, yeah, the hat was comically long.
All right, so that's where you ended in your One Piece chunk, or your One Piece at a time.
Yeah, at the first piece of this One Piece at a time.
Oh, my God, there's going to be a lot of pieces.
I mean, I hope so. Hope they're, like, good-sized pieces. I don't want no nibbles.
I mean, the story gets larger and larger, so we'll cross that bridge when we get there.
Yeah. Because you kind of, like, sectioned it out for me in pretty good
The
chunks.
problem is the arcs get longer and longer and longer, so we're going to have to figure that out down the line.
Was that just potentially Oda's desire to spend more time in certain
It's Oda's
spaces?
mind, so there's like a legendary arc. I'm not even going to give you the name for it, but very, 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 very loved and beloved arc, like right before halfway through the series. Mm-hmm. That's a sizable arc. And then I read somewhere that Oda actually says there was a ton more I wanted to put in there, but I just had to rein it back in. Or the editors had to rein it back in. So I think some arcs are longer because Oda is having fun and he can think about things forever, I think. As you read more, you'll understand why readers call him Goda and why there's a reverence for him as a writer. So anyways, we start with a little boy.
We start with a little boy.
Let's rephrase that. We start with a lovable... Oh my God, that's even worse. A lovable child.
He definitely was loved. Like, the village did... he was like the lovable village idiot.
That's true. He had all the village people knew who he was.
Yeah. They're like, oh my God,
Monkey D. Luffy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's having a great time.
Mm-hmm.
Pirate ship comes back in. He's like, oh my God, it's my pirates.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, let me show you how tough I am. And they're like, how tough are you? And takes that knife to the cheek.
They said, all right, bet. How tough are you?
And they immediately go to party. I'm like, oh, all right. So this is the kind of like bar we're setting real quick in this in this story.
I mean, it's funny because you have so little to go off of, but you can actually go so far into it into themes going forward in the story. I mean, let's break it down like this.
Yeah.
There's comedy, right?
Yeah.
There's
a lot of comedy.
You know, surprise and there is violence already in the story, right?
Yeah, graphic self-mutilating violence.
And it's all there mixed together, you know.
And there's such like a softness and like curvature to his art that feels inherently childish. At least in this.
That's a tough one though, because his art definitely, like, the characters
changes.
look different by the time we're at now.
Which I mean, your brother just showed me some of his art.
Yeah.
So like I'm like, these look, the line structure feels completely different.
Yeah, he changes. The art changes. I kind of look back at these volumes.
Your hardcovers.
And I'm just like, oh wow, they looked a little different. But I mean, that's just how the cookie crumbles. You know, I think
the style changes
for sure. But I think something that you'll see going forward is Oda as an artist is unparalleled. There's very few I hold to his art because it's not technical. I mean, you could look at the characters. They don't look like anime characters, right?
No, it's kind of like its own thing.
It's its own thing.
It's the same general way I felt about a lot of classic Nickelodeon / Cartoon Network. They all just kind of
interesting,
like, because there's so many different, wildly different styles,
right?
Which I feel like this one's pretty wildly different from most anime.
It's so funny. I remember trying to draw One Piece as a kid, and it looks so basic, and there's an absurd amount of detail in every single panel. Maybe not so much at the beginning, but
as time goes
on, it's extraordinary how unique it is and actually how hard it is to draw in some panels. So something that I always appreciated, and maybe to keep your eye on going forward as to how the art changes.
That's one thing I'm going to be very interested in, because I am taking it at sizable chunks, and right now everything kind of feels the same.
Right.
But literally I am 6.8%.
I can't believe that's already 6.8% though. It's crazy. You know what it is? It's because of everything that happens. I feel like I've been on, I mean, of course it's been 15 years, so that has been a journey.
Yeah.
But everything the characters go through, my goodness, man. It feels like a journey and a half.
Yeah. I mean, this is a journey just acquiring some of these people. But I think that's kind of where we should start, because...
Okay.
Well, I have to harp on this first episode, because...
Chapter 1 or
I mean, like, we'll call it...
Romance Dawn.
Yeah, Romance Dawn.
Like Volume 1.
I guess I'm calling them more as, like, scenes. The entire scene of Luffy, Shanks, and leaving town. I call, like, that one as, like...
Oh, yeah, that's
even if that, like, rolls over a
scene.
couple chapters, I'm like, this is, like, an entire little play.
Yeah. That's it. Yeah.
And, you know, we have pirates.
Mm-hmm.
There's one of my favorite tropes. There's a ranking system. So there's always, like, the chief's men. There's always, like, for some reason, 2. Right now it's been in pairs of 2.
What do you mean by that?
Each captain had, like, specifically 2 subordinates that were, like, their aces.
There is a ranking system in One Piece.
It's like classic ranking system. It's like, okay, so this guy has to be stronger than this guy. Maybe there's some thematic things that comes out later.
Yeah, that comes up later. Huh. Great. I see what you did there. But yeah, so I mean, you get Shanks' crew. So Luffy eats a devil fruit, right?
Luffy eats a devil fruit, which for me, because you had me like check out the colored.
Yes.
And when I read that through, it was like, okay, they're having a fun party, blah, blah, blah. They're eating, awesome, good time. What is this strange purple thing that Luffy now has in his hands that has not been shown?
Casually, by the way. Eating casually. Yeah.
And there's no other panel of like kind of I literally flipped back through. I'm like, there's no like weird chest or like.
I mean, it was in a little chest.
There was a panel.
Yeah, it's in a little chest.
I need to like
or
go
like
back.
Where there's something. There is a panel at least where like they find the fruit or something like that. Where
Yeah.
It's like,
No. I'm just saying
it's
like
a
in
tiny
the order,
treasure chest.
but in the order of which like I read it in, if there actually is like a Where's Waldo, tiny chest.
Yeah.
A+.
Yeah. No.
A+.
It's not like that. I think he just has the fruit in his hand, but that did catch your eye, right? Because it's a purple colored fruit.
Yeah, it was
in the colored panels that you're reading.
Out of everything, it was none of the colors.
Yeah. And then suddenly his arm stretches.
Suddenly, just Shanks walks with it. Pretty funny.
So just a devil fruit you get, right? It gives you a random, by the way, completely random power. You don't even know what you're getting half the time.
Yeah.
Some of them you do know.
I didn't even know that.
because there's a history of devil fruits on this ocean,
Mm-hmm.
so some people know what they look like, some people don't, but we didn't know what we were getting with this one, and it gives them power.
I was about to ask a question that I don't want the answer to. I don't want to.
I'm not going to answer it if I don't want to answer it.
Okay, I'm going to ask it, and you can like look away. So, are there multiple copies of like certain devil fruit?
No.
Okay, good.
No.
So there's like it produces
some that
one.
Correct.
And like this is this one.
Correct. But there are some that relate to each other.
Okay.
Some might be magma, some might be fire,
Oh, okay. It's like semi-related in terms of like elemental ability.
Some might be similar to others but are a stronger power. You'll see that a little bit in the series.
Cool.
But yeah, you can't swim if you eat a devil fruit. I don't know if you picked up on that.
Oh, definitely read that. Definitely read that.
I just think it's ironic. I think it's one of Oda's biggest flexes out of the entire series about pirates. That the main thing that gives you powers in the power system makes you not able to swim.
Yeah. He kind of did both. He kind of just made Superman printable.
Yeah. Yeah.
So like, okay, here's your Superman powers. Here's your kryptonite. What? And there's a lot of fucking Supermen around here, all trying to fight to be some kind of pirate king.
There's a lot of Supermen actually, and they get crazier and crazy. The story, I'm not even gonna go down this path every time we bring this up. Yeah, there's a lot of them out there though.
It definitely seems like that because even in I've seen 2 fruits so far. I think it's just buggy. Was there another?
The chop fruit, which is buggy, and then the gomu no mi, which is Luffy.
I'm just saying, like, other than Luffy, I've only seen one other devil fruit user.
Yeah, I don't think you've seen any others yet.
It was just buggy.
So, I mean, there's I'll say this. Supposedly in the lore, devil fruit are rare.
Yeah. Do they not feel very rare?
They don't feel very rare down the line, but I could also make the logical argument that as you get to higher stakes and more stronger pirates, it makes sense that
most of them would probably have some power.
Yeah, and or that they have an ability to find rarer
things,
a rare fruit on the seas. You know, a big thing is that you've heard of at least is the Grand Line, correct? There's
the Grand Line and the Red Line.
Yes. I remember
seeing like couple. I wanted to like take snapshots.
It's going to take me a while to break down the One Piece world for you. Maybe we'll even do a special where I draw out the world map for you
when I get to a certain point where I kind of understand.
The sea that Luffy is going towards is the Grand Line.
Correct.
And you have to get to the end of the Grand Line to be the Pirate King.
Mm-hmm.
That's all you need. That's all you know, and that's all you need to know so far. But it makes sense. I think there is like a thought in this in the story and in the lore where it's like the Grand Line has tons of devil fruit. The Grand Line has tons of everything, right? So it makes more sense that there'd be more devil fruit users.
Yeah, higher stakes
on the Grand Line.
Higher rewards.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, you gotta min max. You gotta get the higher loot. You gotta fight the higher raid bosses.
Let's always break down One Piece as an RPG. I love it.
Dude, it is.
Whatever helps people understand.
It's helping me understand that this is.
I can tell.
This is one of my favorite games.
So Luffy and Shanks. Luffy gets kidnapped, right?
Yep, Luffy gets kidnapped. Shanks goes rescue him in water. And then, and you explained this to me because, hey, fun fact. I messed up a lot of things getting this thing set up. Technical difficulties.
Yeah, well, we're not sound engineers. But yes, go ahead.
No. But what I was saying was that when Shanks rescued Luffy and the big happened.
Yeah. For listeners only, a
chomp.
Chomp happens.
Chomp happened.
Yeah.
Shanks becomes armless. I forget it was left or right. Did he lose his right?
Oh my god, I'm gonna hate myself if I get this wrong. Hold on.
I don't remember which way he was facing in the panel.
Hold on. I need to remember how I see him in the series. Left arm.
He lost his left?
I'm gonna be so mad if that's wrong. Hold on. You stay right there.
Which arm? All right.
Yeah. All right. You want to know what?
He keeps his point.
You want to know what threw me off about that?
What about it?
There's a way later anime episode where they accidentally animate him with both arms.
Oh, it was an accident?
Yeah, it's completely in there.
So in the anime or the manga?
Anime.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure someone was like...
I was thinking of that scene. I'm like, well, that scene's not going to help me. So a chomp happens. A chomp happens.
That's a fucking incredible Easter egg. The first fan to catch that.
It can't have been that hard, dude. Like, I'm actually it would have been, because like when you watch things cinematically, you don't.
It's like a background character.
You have to actually be looking for that, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd pay top dollar just to shake the hand of the guy who found that.
Found that first.
Yeah. So a chomp happens.
Yeah, chomp happens.
He loses his entire full arm.
Yes. But then there's something that I noted when I was reading this that I wanted to bring up with you, and that when Shanks looked back at that monster, anyone out there that's seen One Punch Man, Carnage Kavatops had the instinct of pure death if he were to try and kill Saitama. And I felt that exact feeling when Shanks looked back at that monster.
So interesting that you picked that up. I think not a lot I can give you on that right now.
That's fine.
Not a lot I can give you on that. But, I mean, it's noteworthy, right? You noticed it?
Yeah. It almost felt like too blatant. Kind of like the purple fruit.
Well, it's funny because Shanks is such a laid-back guy throughout the entire series.
That was the only time he had aggro eyes.
That was the only time he had aggro eyes, and he's
very
scared off a sea serpent that just bit off his arm with a look, right? So there's something there to that. I think it also just speaks to Shanks' character, right? You know, the bandit comes in, spills drink and food on him, doesn't care.
Yeah, just kind of lets it happen.
That's the definition of you're not worth my time, right?
Yeah.
On Shanks's part, you know. And then secondly, if a man who can scare off a sea serpent with a look has some sort of kind of power that we're sensing, right?
It wasn't if it was a power, it's just like kill intent. I've seen enough animes that are just like, oh.
A presence though, right?
Yeah, well, hopefully not like King in One Punch Man.
Yeah. I mean, no. Definitely not like King in One Punch Man.
It's real.
Sorry, you threw a curveball. I mean, I was trying to process that for a second. I was trying to definitely not like that. But you know, whether it's a power, whether it's a presence, clearly he's the type of dude where it's like, if it's time to go, it's time to go, right? You know, you can throw food on me all you want, but if you mess with me, and I'm gonna come back at you, you better be ready. So there's definitely that sense to Shanks.
Yeah,
they're absolutely already in chapter 1 or
it's worth my time.
2 or and I was absolute. I mean, he was saving Luffy's life. You know.
Yeah.
He cares about Luffy, however you want to chalk it up. Whether he's like a father figure, whether he just likes Luffy as a kid, but he cares about Luffy, and he Shanks defends his friends, which is something that we'll see possibly Luffy inherit.
I mean, there's a whole lot of that already.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the man is just a bumbling, big-hearted idiot.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he's pretty great.
Pretty
stupid, but pretty great.
I think Luffy is just a misunderstood artist. I think Luffy.
Artiste. Artiste implies like thought, direction.
Oh man.
He's what I would classify as like a serial stumbler. He stumbles forward. He gets there. Means well.
But does he care that he's stumbling?
No, not at all.
Not at all.
Not at all. He doesn't care if he breaks down a building stumbling.
That's true too.
Like,
yeah.
It's like
he has that to him. Yeah.
Oh wait, I have the ability to launch something back that hits me, that doesn't stab me. I will do it.
Yeah.
Boing. Enter baratie.
Well, before we get to baratie, I mean, so
yeah. I mean, we haven't even. Time passes. I think Shanks plants in the thing. It's like, oh, come find me or something along those lines. Luffy vows that he's gonna become the Pirate King.
Yeah.
Then a time skip to some time because he got quite big. How many years?
I don't know how old he is as Kid Luffy, but he's 17, I believe, when the journey starts. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because when he leaves, he looked vastly bigger.
Yep.
He had his fun little dinky boat. His village was like, I think they were like sad, happy he's leaving.
Oh man.
Just, like,
what's the bar maiden's name? Or not bar maiden, but
I have no clue.
That's like his kind of like his maternal figure.
Mm.
I'm the one who's gonna get roasted in the comments for that because I should actually know this story, and she's a huge character. And then there's the mayor and stuff. I all those characters I love. And they give him a send off, right? He goes off in his extravagant.
I don't remember.
Rowboat.
Oh yes, it was a singular rowboat. Oh my!
It's a miracle he even got that together. Let's be honest. that is looking back on this story. That's the MVP of One Piece. Is that rowboat?
He really bet it all on a lottery ticket. Because if that rowboat had any problems,
and he can't swim.
he can't swim.
He can't swim.
He bet it all on a rowboat.
Yeah, man. And that speaks to him, I guess, as a person.
He's like, I finally got one.
When
boat
we break
to my
it down
name.
this way,
I can do
he
this
said,
now.
"Fuck it, I'm gonna go." And so he sets off on his rowboat.
Yeah, he says it on his rowboat.
It's a little,
and this is where it starts to get a little foggy in some areas. Because
even for me,
I remember him getting to a new island or a new town or something where Zoro is pinned up to a post,
like kind of crucified almost, right?
I thought it was like a shooting, firing squad.
Yeah,
position.
like an execution firing squad position.
Correct.
Yeah,
and there was something about paying a debt. I don't remember the exact reason why he had to pay the debt. I just remember there was a guy with
probably
a fancy
got lost.
jaw.
Huh? Don't worry about it.
Oh. There's a guy with a fancy jaw. He was supposed to pay the debt. They were going to kill him anyways. There was something about someone trying to feed him.
Yeah. So that I do remember very clearly is so I don't remember the circumstances of why Zoro's tied up. I just know that he's tied up, and then a young girl, I believe, a child, tries to feed him rice because he's hungry. They haven't been feeding him. Considering how the Marines are supposed to defend the people, it's kind of weird that they act so mean.
Yeah.
Note going forward.
And one boy really wants to become one.
Kobe.
Yes.
Kobe. Yeah. So that's all there. But yeah. So there's the big bad Marine and his shithead son. Generational inherited wealth. Helmeppo. I think I'm saying that right. Another reason I'm gonna get crucified. And come up with a shithead who takes the rice out of the young girl's hand and stomps it out. And Zoro says, "Give it to me anyways. I just want to eat." Yeah. Cool moment.
Pretty cool moment. Tough.
Yeah.
Pretty tough. I wasn't sure if when I was thinking about that scene, was he actually eating the rice with the bull shrapnel, or is just the rice?
I just remember it being dirty rice.
Oh, just dirt.
Just really dirty rice. But he was hungry, man. Yeah. And he didn't want to make the young girl upset. She was trying to do him a favor. So I think that shows a lot about Zoro's character and who he is as a person going forward in the story.
Mm-hmm. So we pick up Zoro. Zoro's a bounty hunter person, the pirate hunter.
Named pirate. His epithet is Pirate Hunter Zoro.
Pirate Hunter Zoro.
And he joins a pirate. He joins a pirate crew, no questions asked, to be honest. He just gets it. I mean, he gets freed.
Yeah,
he gets freed, which is a big deal.
Yeah.
And
oh wait, wasn't it that the idea would be if he joins Luffy to go to the Grand Line, the strongest people on the Grand Line, which means he'd have a higher percent chance of fighting
the strongest swordsman in the world. That's true too. That's
or is that just something I pieced together? Because when I did meet Mr. Guy that I can't remember, Mihawk.
This is so back far in the story, I do not know, but I'm pretty, that there is a sentiment there, right? So Luffy says, "I want to be the Pirate King." Zoro's like, "I want to be the world's strongest swordsman."
Yeah.
I'll just stick
He's doing
with
it for a friend.
Yeah, man. I mean, hell, if you're going to be the Pirate King, I'm definitely going to become the strongest along the way.
Yeah.
So why not?
Yeah, you get this, I get this other one.
Dude, thinking back, man, it's actually kind of crazy that that's how they met. It actually is hilarious. But it's the start. It's a sprout in a very budding relationship that will be tested at times, but it is a core going forward.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they leave, and then they realize that they might need someone that can either make
Wait.
food or
We
navigate.
forgot something.
Wait, what happened? This is like where
Zoro.
Yeah,
How many swords does he use?
he uses 3. They have to get them.
Isn't that kind of weird? Isn't it kind of weird that he puts a sword in his mouth and it doesn't hurt his teeth?
Yeah, I've been wondering that.
Right?
I don't get how that works.
Well, I bring it up because as a kid, I tried being Zoro.
Oh,
And it doesn't work out that way.
I was be like, are your teeth fake?
They're not fake, but I felt like I was about to have fake teeth.
You tried holding a sword in your mouth?
Oh, yeah. I tried fighting with a sword in my mouth.
Oh, no.
With my older brother.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Oh.
With yeah. I wanted to be Zoro, man. Anyways, it's a unique style, right?
Sorry.
They're real teeth. I have my real teeth. I only tried it once. I didn't try it again after.
All right, so we just picked up Zoro.
Right.
And now we go to find Nami. I can't remember, because I know Usopp happened after Nami.
This is embarrassing. I should have. I'm not going to.
No, it's too much for you to catch up on.
Yeah, like I'm not going to catch up on the whole series again, but I should have brushed up on this. But I don't remember how. I know Nami's a thief. Okay, so that's established off the back.
She wants to steal a lot of things.
She loves money, dude.
She does
I
love
mean,
money.
Scrooge McDuck. I mean, you gotta put respect on the bag chasers out there.
Mm-hmm.
But
and she is hella manipulative.
Yes, I do remember that. And so they're all together, and then that's kind of the buggy arc,
This
right?
is the buggy part, which I would say genuinely, I thought his ability was pretty cool. Being able to space up parts of
I
them.
might get in trouble, but if he can't be chopped by a sword, then even the greatest swordsman in the sea can't beat Buggy.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not correct, and I'm bullshitting right
Yeah.
now. But
there are ways to get around it, which obviously Luffy did.
But I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Just gonna throw that out there to piss some people off. But yeah, so it is a pretty cool power. It's also, I remember I was very young when I was reading this, right? And I was so shocked when
Literally
Zoro.
10.
Yeah, I know. And this is the first time I've read a comic where I've seen blood and stuff, right?
Oh.
And first of all, I was shocked when Zoro chops Buggy with 3 swords.
Yeah.
And Buggy fakes that he's dead.
Yeah.
And when I read that, I was like, oh my God, what the fuck are they?
Yeah, what are they showing?
I was 10 years old. I was like, this guy got like chopped in half. What is this? That tripped me out. And then another shock moment when I was young that stuck with me is when the floating Buggy hand stabs Zoro in his
And
guts.
It's yeah.
Pretty much his abdomen. So I remember that very well, actually. But cool powers, yeah.
Cool powers.
Kind of
and
a
I love
meme.
how it ended.
Kind of a memey crew.
Yeah. Well, no, the best part was that they tied up parts of him so he became like a short stack.
I forget. That's actually the main counter to Buggy. Now that I think about it,
You literally Chucky him.
you could literally just tie him up and throw him in the ocean. Chucky's also kind of like a clown, right?
Yeah.
The-
Yeah. So this is like.
a little bit of a connection there. But yeah, I mean, I think all jokes aside, it's a little bit of a skirmish. Perhaps I'm not doing my job as to breaking down what happened anymore.
Your job
but
your job is to guide me on my
this
One
is
Piece journey.
This is so minuscule in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah.
Like I'm just like, yeah, that's cool that it happened,
Mm-hmm.
And it's just weird. It is weird. Let's just call it what it is. It's a little bit of a weird arc right there.
This story is weird. So, man, I made it through Baratie. It's pretty weird.
Yeah. Anyways, Nami joins the crew, right?
Nami joins the crew. And
a thief joins the crew.
Correct. And I remember...
Great person to trust.
Yeah, the best person to trust. She's very charismatic.
Yeah, I mean, she'll have 2 more reasons to be charismatic once her character evolves in the story later down the line.
Oof. And then I think my favorite character pops in. I'm trying to remember the timeline.
Okay.
Wait, I wrote it down.
Okay. Pull it up.
I wrote it down. My personal favorite character so far. It was in chapter 20. So
Okay.
I think we actually quite a bit passes. So maybe it's after. Wait.
No, it has to be in volume 1 or 2.
Oh, so it's after. Yeah. So after Buggy, after all like the Buggy fight and whatnot.
It's volume 3, I think. Yeah.
Chapter 20. I wrote down Gaimon, best side character so far.
He knows side character. He's a side. Oh my God, I forgot he was a character.
Man fell in a chest, got stuck, was left behind.
So how do you think his body is in the chest? Like, what does it look like?
I would hope Well, see, that's the part that. Well, now I'm like getting way too scientific.
Do it.
Well, he'd have to somehow maintain his mass to like stay fully encompassed within like the range and bounds.
How
of his
tall
chest.
was his original character?
Pretty big. If I remember correctly, Buggy stood like an Usopp.
Oh man,
And then he got
dude.
like scrunched.
So he's like a paraplegic now.
Kind of.
Damn, that's kind of a sad tale.
Yeah, and he just pops out of his chest to shoot people with his gun.
I forgot about that.
That's how he was introduced. A bush that shoots you.
He's a bush because his hair is green, right?
Yes. Yes. Gaimon, best character so far.
my god.
And I wrote down Grand Line is hella sus. Pirates came back fully spooked. Because I think in his backstory, when the pirates like returned back to the Grand Line, they looked real.
That's real,
messed
man.
up.
The Grand Line ain't for sissies. We might be on a swashbuckling journey, but something that I did want to bring up today is the world of One Piece overall is actually a very rough world.
Oh, it does not seem kind.
It's not kind at all, but we're in the shoes of Straw Hat Luffy, who's one of the goofiest main characters ever. We have weird humor, right? Mm-hmm. There's definitely like real emotional beats, but we feel free because we're on this journey with the people that we're following.
Yeah.
But can you imagine just being a normal person in the One Piece world? Actually, don't even answer that. I'm gonna ask you that question a few arcs later. Can you? I feel like people, even like veteran. I'm not gonna call myself a veteran, but people who've read the story for a very long time, like myself.
I would say sticking around with something for 15 years makes you a veteran.
Okay. Well, people who've read the story for a long time, I think people forget that. Like, with the question where it's like, what anime would you want to be in? It's like, I'm like, oh, One Piece. Do I want to be in One Piece?
Do you actually want to be?
Who am I going to be in One Piece, realistically, right? Am I going to be Gaimon? Or am I going to be Luffy?
No, you're going to be one of the Usopp squadron.
I could pull off... Dude, I could be Usopp.
You could be...
10 out of 10, I could be
10.
Usopp.
He was a great shot. Even like the first chapters.
Oh, here's something I want to bring up.
And
I don't know
his
if
dad
you
is
picked...
a great shot.
Yeah, his dad's in Shanks' crew.
That I remember.
Okay, that's pretty important.
That was
forward.
I remember seeing the label.
His dad's, from what we know, an expert sniper, right?
Yeah.
Who can shoot an antenna or the eyebrows off of an ant at however many yards away. But Usopp's also a great shot. He's
using a slingshot, if I remember correctly.
How are you? You're introduced to him because his pirate crew is like 3 kids, right?
Yeah, there are 3 kids in his town. He wants to defend
That's
his
fucking
village.
hilarious.
Wait, why?
Just thinking about Usopp as a character going forward.
Oh, yeah, he was the Captain Usopp.
Of 3 children.
Of 3 children going on adventures. They made wooden signs in the woods and would attack them.
Captain Usopp. He introduces himself as a captain, right?
Yes.
So
he would go,
that is so poetic,
he would
honestly.
Speak to Kara.
Yeah, who's kind of like I would say like a love interest for him, right? Like a special relationship for him.
I mean, by the end of that arc, what's it called?
The legendary cat pirates. By the way,
legendary cat pirates. They get a boat, but like
they do. They do.
That was one of the funniest like thematic things I guess so far.
I gotta say this, man. Like, what the fuck was Oda doing these first few arcs? Like, I love them to death.
Fun.
Yeah, maybe he was trying to weed people out. Maybe he was trying to weed. I'm trying to get this shit out of my face.
One fly.
Maybe he was just, like I mean, obviously he wasn't trying to weed people out, but like it's just hilarious how big the story. I mean, it's the same theme. I understand that, but where the story goes, the relationships that develop, I cannot believe that I read an arc about cat pirates.
Yeah.
And
it was
clowns that
it was a 3-year spy arc essentially for the guy.
Yeah, no, I remember that plot very well because he's the butler, right?
Yes, Clanador.
Oh man, I forgot his name.
Clanador.
Does he have 2 names as the butler, or is it just the same name?
It was one name that was pretty long.
Right, and was he the captain of the cat?
He was the original captain. Decided that he didn't want to be a pirate anymore.
Okay,
and that's when he went on his very long plan.
And his plan is to what again? Just take the inheritance or something?
He wanted to take the inheritance and just kind of like live out with like.
Oh, I mean, I can respect that. I mean, yeah, I get it. He's been to the Grand Line and back. Why not? I don't think a person of his caliber would survive very far into the Grand Line. I'm gonna throw that out there.
He was easily taken care of.
Well, the dude fights with mittens with long claws on them. There were some cool moments in that arc. I mean, listen,
it's pretty funny.
I got it. I want to pay respect to the story, but it's just loud. It's just hilarious.
Yes.
Like this is, that's what the story was so far.
Yeah. No. I mean, the oil slick was like literal.
That's
Looney
a classic.
Tunes
That's oh, you'll see more Looney Tunes. I guarantee that much.
I already feel a lot of it.
Okay. Well, you'll feel more of it at a certain point in the story.
It's good times. Yeah, the oil slick, they can't run. That's the reason why they got there late in the fight.
I love that. They're just fucking idiots.
Wait, there's 2 entrances?
Okay, so they defeat the cat.
Village.
Oh, wait, we're forgetting.
What are we forgetting?
The greatest hypnotist on the seas.
Yeah. Honestly, he made Luffy much stronger.
Great pair of sunglasses.
Yeah, great. Just outfit in general. He was definitely like
Good
a
character
60s pimp.
Good character design, honestly.
Yeah.
Looking back, Django was his
Django.
name, I believe.
He was truly unchained.
So yeah, I mean, he could work on his hypnosis technique. Clearly,
Yeah.
The fact that Oda's asking the questions that we all want, which is how does a hypnotist not get hypnotized by himself?
Mm-hmm.
Answer is he does. You know, I appreciate. In my life, I don't need to think about that going forward at all.
Yeah.
Check that box off.
Yeah, Django was pretty fantastic.
I think I actually, now that I'm nerding out about it and looking back, he kind of fought with a cool fighting style where he had not shurikens, but like chakras,
They were
chakrams.
Yes.
Chakras.
Chakras.
To say Naruto.
Yeah.
Chakrams. Yeah, where he
chakrams.
would like throw them,
Spinning
right?
blades, yeah.
Yeah, those were kind of cool.
And he was quite accurate with them. He chopped down a lot of the forest with them.
Oh, right. Yeah, he had a decent showing of power there.
Mm-hmm.
So
Nami got cut up.
what does Nami do this arc? I completely forgot.
She does. Hey, she actually does something pretty good. She, I think she defends Zoro at one point with a bow staff.
Oh, nice. Okay.
During the pirate brawl.
Oh.
Or was it Usopp? She defended somebody. I'm like, wow,
Yeah.
Nami actually helped.
Yeah.
And she like fought.
Yeah.
Using her life.
What does Usopp do? Because this is kind of his arc where you're introduced to him and everything.
Oh, he actually did like some cool shooting stuff.
Right.
I can't remember beyond that.
So yeah, all right. So but he did some cool sniper moves.
He did, and then he's just willing to die.
Anyways, fast forward. Cat pirates are defeated.
Yep, very much so.
And then, lo and behold, what a come up for the Straw Hat Pirates.
Yeah. Girl with inheritance, lots of money. But bam, here's a ship.
At least she's cool with it. At least she's one of the generous ones, right?
Nice.
What do you think of the design of the Going Merry?
Genuinely, because I have such poor visual memory at times, I'm just like, a ship? I literally don't remember.
It's almost like a cartoonish mast. It's technically a goat.
It's a
but
goat?
that's what it's supposed to be, yeah.
Oh.
Maybe you can pull up. Well, you're going to see that ship a lot more, so you'll have it.
Yeah.
You'll definitely have that to memory.
I just don't feel like I've looked at it that much. Because during the entire Baratie arc, I didn't see it once.
You don't see it at all.
Yeah,
I mean,
so
why
I
would
just
you?
haven't seen it a lot.
Yeah. I mean, looking back on the Going Merry, that one panel where you see the whole thing is actually amazing. Like the architecture of the ship and everything, I love, and it's just hilarious to me that the mast of like these badass pirates is just like this cartoonish Cartoon Network goat figure.
No. Luffy's first design for his.
Again, I think Luffy's just
incredible.
Luffy, listen, Van Gogh, Monet, however you want to call it. Luffy. Misunderstood artist, man. You try to draw that.
I can't draw.
I know, you'd have to try to be that terrible.
No, I mean, I feel like I would be on par with Luffy.
One of my favorite moments is on every One Piece funny moments compilation on YouTube, where it's just like funny moments from the series.
Yeah.
Compiled together. Hilarious.
Oh, the.
I mean, what were they going to do if Usopp wasn't there?
they would have lived with
that
that.
was their Jolly Roger. Because I guarantee Nami and Zoro can't paint that well either.
No.
I guarantee.
That would have been amazing, though.
I'm gonna get a shirt. I'm gonna make a shirt with the shitty one.
Yeah. That's the real one.
That's the that's the real one.
That's the real
you are
one.
see you're on your way to being a real One Piece fan because you understand that.
Yeah, that's the real one. You
might pop up again, maybe not.
Hey. Anyone that's ever seen someone with that tattoo of the original.
Should I get that tattooed? I could get. I have room on my arms.
That's up to you. I'm just like wondering if it's been seen in the wild, and be like, oh,
if this ever becomes something, I will consider getting that tattooed on my shoulder.
That's fair. That's fair.
It's only like 2 people are going to see this right now anyway, so I don't care.
Yeah, me,
me, and you.
You, me.
Anyways, they came up on a great looking ship, right?
Yeah, genuinely, I'm like, wow, went from rowboats to this.
Yeah, dude.
Started from the bottom now here.
I mean, I love it though. You know, Luffy does that shit without even trying, man.
I would say he tries really hard.
Sorry, let me rephrase that. He doesn't ever have a plan or the intention of doing something, you know?
Correct.
He didn't have a plan to get that ship.
Yeah, no, he had no plan for that.
You know? Because of his character and who he helped out, people
He's just trying to do well.
Yeah, and the genuine people in the series do right by him who he's helped out, you know? So that's a great
he might
lesson.
He might mess everything up by like blowing up the side of a ship by accident, but like he'll do a week worth of sentence, not a year.
All right, so going forward, they have the Mary now, right?
Yeah, they have the Mary now. And what comes next here? Does baratie happen next? I'm trying to remember.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so all of that was just getting to baratie, which
it gets kicked up a little bit in baratie.
I would say this is when I actually got excited. This was like a full-on bout. No more silly games. There was like a fun lead up in the beginning. We had a cool new bro named Sanji. Apparently his food is better than everyone else's, which I found it very funny at the end. We're like, we all knew your food was better.
Oh,
man.
yeah.
And I'm just
wait, but how did I don't even remember it, so you're gonna have to try to refresh my memory.
Yeah.
How does Luffy become a server there?
So
what?
For some reason,
what does he fuck up there?
I think they shot at his ship, and Luffy did the Luffy thing, which was return what was shot at me.
Oh, like with rubber?
Yeah. So he
would do that.
He did the Gomu Gomu, and he launched the cannonball and broke literally the top portion of the captain's quarters of the baratie vessel. And then he went aboard, and he's like, hey, I'm super sorry, but I gotta go. And the really awesome giant hat chef man, Zeph?
Yes.
Zeph. He said that Luffy needed to serve a year-long term to repay it. And
I get it.
Luffy's like, I'll do 3 days or a week, something like that.
Does he say that like immediately?
Yes. He's like, sorry, man. That's like, it's like, sorry, that's way too long.
I think baratie is actually where we're introduced to Luffy's bartering skills, his unknown skill of bartering, where
cut someone's ask all the way down.
That, or when Sanji is like, I refuse to join your crew, and Luffy says, I refuse your refusal.
Yeah, no, Luffy does not take no's. He always tries to find some kind of like compromise.
I love that. That's a life lesson right there.
That is. Find compromise.
Find compromise or refuse the refusal. So he's working in the kitchen, right?
Yeah, he's working in the kitchen now, and he's just breaking
he breaks every dish.
Every single dish. My man has rubber hands.
Yeah.
These things ain't holding plates.
Literally.
I imagine he'll squeak.
Isn't there like a part where they're like, they put him in one section of the kitchen and he fucks it up. Yeah. And then they put him in another section.
They put him into every station. Something like that.
So he's actually probably would be better if he just didn't work it off at all.
Yeah.
And stopped destroying their kitchen.
Yep, pretty much.
From an economic cost benefit standpoint, right?
Yeah.
If we were to break it down that way.
And then plot device happens.
Mm-hmm.
Plot device being, there was some sick pirate that washed up, and it was the Tonfa guy.
But Luffy's crew's at the restaurant, right?
So it's just the one guy first.
Oh, okay.
It's the one guy first.
Who I believe you're talking about Jin or Gin.
Jin, yeah, he had the cool like wrecking ball tonfa things.
Yes.
Has
a headband. Pretty cool drip actually, honestly. Pretty cool. It almost looks like he has like an Italian like sweatsuit opened up almost kind of. Yeah.
Very very mob bossy.
Huh.
And from that point he gets fed the slop.
Right.
From Sanji's food.
Yeah.
And he's like, "My God, this is the best thing I've ever had," or something like that. He's like, this is great.
Right.
And I'm just like, "Oh, is it actually that great?" And then by the end, it's like, "Oh, it's actually confirmed. He's the best."
Yeah. Without even trying.
Sanji's just which my man's suave, but no, he had to be the one to fall for Nami. He's like, he's the one. He's the one. Because when I saw that unravel, I'm like, all right.
Oh, so you bring up another good point about Sanji. He's a woman. He's a woman's man.
He's a womanizer. Is it womanizer or just like he just loved women?
I'll leave this.
I'll bring it to interpret.
No. I'm gonna flesh out what I'm about to say later, like halfway through the series, because the trope I think gets a little bit more annoying.
Oh, it gets more annoying.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
So there is that. Also, I've talked to my friends who are females who read the series, and it's like when it becomes a constant trope for like however long One Piece, like 25 years now. It makes women feel, I think, a little bit more uncomfortable as like women readers of the series. So that is something to kind of I just want to throw out there and acknowledge.
Okay.
But in One Piece, for such a long story, you got to have your tropes, and their arcs follow a consistent pattern. So characters tend to follow their tropes, and they all have a gag. That the ones that you're with the longest will have a gag, and honestly,
and Luffy's is Sanji Luffy stumbles and breaks everything.
Luffy's gag is literally that he's Luffy, and Luffy-isms will pop up.
I feel like
I'm gonna coin that term right now.
Luffy-ism,
Luffy's gag is Luffy-isms and what he does as Luffy.
His Luffy-isms are destruction.
It's probably like the most annoying, actually, now that I think about it. And then everybody else is I still laugh at to this day.
What's a Zoroism?
You're gonna find out.
Okay, I haven't seen it yet.
No,
I don't feel like Zoro.
You actually haven't.
Zoro's just kind of been cool.
I think
so far
he's cool. No, he's
been a cool guy.
He's gonna be the cool guy for the entire series. But I'm saying he'll have his Zoroisms also. Several actually. Now I think about it. Yeah. Okay.
All right. So this goes on for some reason. Jin goes back to his ship, which is apparently Don Krieg's ship. He finds a way back home.
A notorious pirate.
Don Krieg. Don Krieg gets word like, oh, this is that ship. This might have information or stuff or food. I think we wanted food first.
They were all starving. They got decimated by the Grand Line.
Yeah, that was.
And he had like a fleet.
Yeah, it was 100 men.
Yeah. Was it only 100?
I think it was 100.
Oh, okay. Huh.
It's still a big ship.
Yeah, no, it's a giant ship. Way bigger than the Mary.
Way bigger.
Way bigger than the Mary.
Way bigger than the baratie.
Yeah.
Baratie.
I forgot about that.
It was huge, and then things happened to it.
Yeah, by a certain
thing.
A certain hawk-eyed man.
Yeah. Well, we'll get to my favorite.
Okay, yeah,
my favorite part
of course,
in the show so far.
Of course.
So they come back. Don Krieg gets fed, has a great time, and he's like, "Oh, I like this. I want you to feed all my men." And they're like, "What?" And he's like, "I will break everything." And then they all
after you just got fed free food.
After you just got fed free food, and just like, wow, this guy's just
what a bitch.
What a just a giant.
What an asshole.
Yeah. So that goes on. I can't remember exactly what happens, except it's just like, bring your men aboard, we'll feed them.
Right.
So that happens again. They get fed, and then there's some kind of either unveiling that there is special information about the Grand Line, the log, I think what it was.
Oh, the log post
that I guess had special information about Grand Line stuff. Like
it's how you navigate the Grand Line.
Oh, okay, nice.
It's like a compass.
Oh, it's like go through here, go through this section. Makes sense.
Yeah. You need it, or else you can't navigate the Grand Line.
And he's like, I need this. And now we have new plot device. They're gonna fight for this, definitely.
Interesting.
Things.
Does somebody have a log post on Baratie?
That was the whole thing.
That's how it
Don
is.
Krieg
Okay.
is like, oh, this captain is that captain. He's a
Ah.
famous captain that went pretty far.
Was it Zeph?
Yes.
There we go.
Yes.
Yeah.
Zeph with his magical legs.
Zeph. So Red Shoe Zeph, the owner of the restaurant that we are currently at, was in fact a notorious pirate in the past.
Yes.
And he has a log post that Krieg wants. Right.
Correct.
Right.
And my goodness, Sanji and Zeph's time on a rock.
So what was your just initial reaction to that backstory? For what the series has been so far for you.
I'll sum it up in this kind of theme. The theme of One Piece so far to me, and what was perpetrated again during the Sanji and Zeph on a rock moment, was that the great ones of old always try to find a way to keep those with the most passion and fire for like the next generation.
Very true. I think to
You have
add
Shanks
to
to
that,
Luffy, you have Zeph to Sanji. There was
Yeah.
definitely a Zoro to can't
Queen.
remember- yeah.
Queen. Wait, did you have Zoro's backstory?
It's just like the girl, right? That
Yeah,
was-
his best friend dies.
exactly.
Pretty much, yeah.
So it's like there's always this kind of
Inherited
like death
will,
or
yeah.
leaving to like catapult someone to like an aspect of themselves they want to
Yeah.
become.
You actually brought up a lot there. I think to add to what you're saying, One Piece is a story of inherited will.
Yes, that's a great way
what
to
people
put it.
that's what people say about the story.
Inherited will.
That's gonna be your key word for it.
Mm.
Luffy's inherited will is from Shanks, clearly, with the straw
Yes,
hat, and
for sure.
and we don't know Luffy's parents. That's
No.
his father figure.
Yeah,
Right?
very much so.
We don't know Sanji's parents.
No.
Zeph is his father figure.
Yep.
You know, so he definitely inherited that. So, fun fact.
Well, Usopp has his father figure, and he doesn't know where his father figure.
his deadbeat father
Yeah,
figure.
deadbeat, amazing shot father figure.
I mean, the dude can shoot.
Dude can go pew pew.
The dude wants to hang out with his boys on Shanks' crew, man.
Yeah,
Not
he said I'm
chill
looking
with
for
his
milk and
son,
never
man.
came back.
He went out. Yeah, that's exactly what happened. He went out to find the One Piece and never came back. Is what happened.
It's like peace, son.
But I wanted to give you a fun tidbit, actually. So, I think this is one of the first instances where the anime differs from the manga, because to give people context, what happens in the manga is Sanji's a kid, right, with Zeph on
On a rock, essentially.
Is that the only part, or they get attacked by pirates? I think. And
Yeah,
oh yeah. Sanji gets attacked by pirates, and he washes up on a rock.
Correct. And Zeph is there with him.
Zeph is
They had
who's
one-
a pirate at the time.
Correct. He was still a pirate.
Right.
They
known
had
for his kicks.
known for his amazing kicks, his
and
legs.
Red Shoes Zeph, because of the blood of his enemies, was on his shoes.
There
Hard,
was
badass, by the way.
Yeah, pretty incredible.
Yeah.
He had a giant sack of treasure, and there was also a giant sack of food.
Right.
And he's like, "Yeah, this should be enough food to last you about 50 days or something."
Yep. Hopefully we get saved.
Hopefully we get saved. The first one to see another boat tells the other.
Right.
When the day comes, Sanji is just like, they both separate on the island.
Right.
Sanji makes it to the end of his food. They see the ship. He runs over to Zeph. Zeph, why do you not have a leg anymore?
Well, to give context to that, Sanji thought Zeph had a bigger bag of food.
Oh, yeah. That was it. They both took one sack each.
They each took one sack. We don't know what the contents of each of them are, but Sanji's has food. And he
Sanji's has food.
eats all of it, even though it turns moldy. The bread
Yeah.
turns moldy. He eats it. He's
just
starving.
survives.
He looks in very bad shape. And then he goes, I'm going to go to Zeph and take your food, right? He's like, he has a big bag of food. I'm going to get some.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but he saw the ship first.
Oh, he does?
Ran out of food and then went to Zeph. I think was the order.
Right. And then he cuts it open and it's treasure.
It's treasure. There was
And then
no
he
food.
looks over at Zeph and the dude doesn't have a leg anymore.
No. And he looks scraggly.
They both are not.
They look malnourished.
In condition
say the best.
to go to the Oscars or anything. Like they're or to prom. You know, they're not looking their best.
No, not looking presentable.
And then so there's a chapter called "Eat My Own Leg," right?
I don't remember the exact names.
See, I think there is a chapter called that, which is when Zeph eats his leg. And I think the anime changed either. I don't think they changed the fact that
he ate it.
He ate it. I think they changed it. They cut out the scene where he smashes his leg with a rock.
That's pretty graphic.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they cut that out.
Okay.
And I'm gonna get destroyed if that's not true. And then, but what they did cut out is they took it out of the episode title, "Eat My Own Leg." They absolutely took that out of the. You know, I know that's true.
So that's true. Interesting.
Yeah. So that's one of the first, very first instances of censorship in One Piece, from the manga to the anime.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
So then they get saved, right?
Yeah, they get saved, and then he just tries to work off his literal eternal debt, because Sanji's like, wow, this man sacrificed this much for me.
Right.
I will work off the rest of my life.
And they kind of have the father-son relationship,
Yeah.
right? Where like Sanji's like a teenager, and it's
Yeah.
like, oh fuck you, no fuck you, you know. It's like,
Yeah, it's like,
yeah.
oh, I can never actually get in trouble because I'm still actually the best.
Right. He says,
His one chef that he was always butting heads with, I'm like,
the one who like the bald one.
Yeah.
There's two that he butts heads with. One has like the band around his head.
Yes, that one.
Yeah. Classic.
like, my goodness. Okay, but then they come back, ship. Hell breaks loose because Krieg is like, no, I'm gonna take it. I'm gonna blow things up.
Yeah.
And before things really get spicy,
I remember this scene.
ship goes boom
Mm-hmm.
and splits into many a pieces.
Just with a flick of the wrist.
Well, kind of with a flick of the wrist. And what you see is a man on a tiny, tiny boat.
Yeah. I mean, why are we laughing at Luffy? I mean, the greatest swordsman in the world rides around on a raft.
Yeah. He's moving around on the dinkiest boat.
Dude doesn't even have like oars or anything on his boat. He just
No.
is floating around.
Yeah, he just floats around. He's chilling. And then Zoro's like, I did not expect to see my endgame boss appear in front of me.
Did any of us?
No. I
Yeah.
mean, how
Yeah.
that would even make sense.
Yeah.
That would be like playing Pokemon and you have
Yeah.
a 0.001% to just walk into Mewtwo. And Mewtwo does not let you leave.
So right, okay, so Hawkeye Mihawk,
Yeah.
Dracule looks like one of my favorite character designs in the entire series.
Vampire Hunter D.
I was gonna say he looks like just like a Spaniard.
Yeah,
Like,
correct,
Yeah,
yeah.
he looks like a Spaniard. The
Very cool.
mustache,
The curly hair. Was it
his
curly?
hat. It's not curly. I think
It's
it's
like
straight black.
it's like a sharp pointed hat, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah, the hat. Yeah, I think you're talking about the hat.
No, I was talking about the hair. I thought the hair was curly.
No, it's kind of hard to see sometimes. I used to think he had tattoo sleeves, but it's actually just his jacket.
Oh.
I thought he had a vest and tattoo sleeves, but
Mm.
he has one of his jackets going forward is just like a black vest, and like it looks like a pattern.
Okay.
But one of my favorite designs. Looks great in the color, looks great in the anime. Those eyes are crazy.
Yeah, he definitely had like, I'm gonna kill you eyes.
Yeah. Cuz
He had Shank's eyes.
Yeah. Fun fact, they used to be rivals back in the day.
Ooh, I'm gonna find that out again.
They used to just have fun and duel each other.
That's cool.
You'll find that out pretty soon, actually.
Oh, pretty soon.
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah. It's just a little tidbit.
It's coming in.
They were
all in
boys.
part.
They were boys. They were boys. Anyways, he pulls up in his little
And
raft.
Shank said,
After
your
cutting
boat goes too slow.
He was the one who He was the one who destroyed the Don Krieg's fleet the first time, correct?
Yes.
Mihawk, yeah.
Mihawk just wanted. I guess he's just
Just
having fun.
because he was bored. Because he was bored,
He's just like, oh, the ship. Ba-ding.
which is great.
Which then Zoro's like, well, my endgame boss has appeared. I must fight it, right?
Yep.
No, you don't do that. you don't play MapleStory. Go from the one flying ship over to orbits or whatever it's called, and you don't fight the Crimson Balrog. You just don't.
I mean, in a world that big, I would definitely take my chance. You never know when you're going to see that guy again. I'm just saying the world of One Piece is so big, it makes sense. I think it actually makes more sense thematically, as much as we're joking about it. That he would take the chance against Mihawk because
for sure.
Mihawk's
He's gonna try.
one dude that maybe nobody's ever seen. You know, like in half the world.
Yeah, it's like you don't know what you're running.
They all know who he is, but they haven't seen him. You know.
Zoro walks up.
I mean, can you imagine how many people are gunning for Mihawk's head?
A lot.
And he's just floating on a raft. So that tells you a lot about the character.
The slowest moving boat.
He welcomes it.
He's like, I'm waiting for a fight.
He's
walking out with a lure in Pokemon, hoping that any Pokemon comes to fight, and they all say no.
How does it go for Zoro?
Not great, because Mihawk pulls out the world's tiniest dagger sword.
Which is like on his necklace, right? It's like a part of the cross.
Oh, that's what it was? I remember him just like holding it.
He like takes it off his necklace. He has like a little mini dagger just in case. Just in case.
Yeah, you got the backup dagger.
Just in case.
Yeah. And Zoro does the cool thing, which I can't remember the name of. Where where he does essentially it's like a hex. It's like six. It looks like 6 blades because it's three threes.
Right.
And Mihawk takes the dagger and points it directly in the center, and ding, just like stops it. I'm like, that's funny.
That is the perfect example of you're not on my level. That's the perfect example of power scaling.
Yeah, the power scale.
And actually, even before that, I think Mihawk has a line, which is one of my favorite lines in the entire series. And I'm paraphrasing here, but he's like, "Why would I hunt rabbits with my sword?" He's like, exactly. That's so dumb.
Yeah.
He's a swordsman through and through, and he ain't gonna.
Excellence.
I mean, has Zoro earned the right to even cross blades with Yoru, which is the sword's name, by the way? Yoru.
Yeah, I do not remember.
It's okay.
That's the name of his really fancy black blade.
You don't even know the name yet, but it just gets named later. I mean, that's not a spoiler, you know.
Yeah, it's just a name.
I hope it's not a spoiler. I hope people aren't mad. Yoru. The black, giant cross-looking black.
Yeah, it's like
blade.
A really awesome.
Shit looks awesome.
Curve. It goes up and then like slants out. It's pretty sick.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he doesn't have a good time, right?
He gets cut up a lot, and even just like leaving the blade right in front of his heart because it's so short.
Yeah.
That it doesn't actually reach the heart.
I know.
It is like less than a pinky. And
stabs him right in the chest.
It's like asked him, why don't you press it deeper into my heart? And it's like, well, I don't know. This is
not worth my time.
Yeah, not worth my time. It's like, Zoro was like saying, it's like, well, I tried or something. It's like I needed to know. I can't remember the exact like sentiment. But
he definitely
gets willing to die.
He gets his ass beat, and then his swords shatter. Besides the one in his mouth.
So he lost 2 of them.
He lost exactly 2 of them, and then the one in his mouth is the one from his friend Wado Ichimonji, which is a very special sword to him because that's the sword of his deceased best friend Kuina. And then Mihawk's going in for the kill, and then Zoro turns around and he says, "Scars on my back would be a swordsman's shame," or something like that.
Yeah, so he takes it to front.
Yeah, and that's Mihawk could have killed him there, clearly. But he doesn't.
No, Mihawk
grievous
understands.
Wound, though.
Grievous wound. It's a grievous wound?
Maybe I'm not. Maybe I'm not saying that right. But it's a very, very.
Yeah, he almost died.
Yeah, he almost died.
He very well almost died.
Yeah.
But all while this is happening, and after this fight, because then they have like a awesome father-son, sensei apprentice moment, where it's just like, yeah, come find me. Come find me later.
Yeah, he says, "Hey, if you want to do it," you get a sense that Mihawk hasn't seen like he hasn't found many people like Zoro's tenacity in a while at least. Yeah. In a while at least, you can tell that Mihawk's bored.
Yeah, he's
being the strongest. So you'll see Mihawk again for sure, but one of all these interactions mean more later in the story because these are all set things in motion, right? But a very special moment between Mihawk and Zoro, regardless, touching actually, I think, because Mihawk's like, actually,
I'm sorry Zoro. That I didn't bring this up.
Yeah.
Backtrack all the way to Usopp.
Oh God, yeah.
When Usopp did his final send off for his 3 squad members.
Oh man,
that was the most tears I've like seen in a panel.
I wonder if we're gonna see those guys again. We haven't thus far. The kids?
Yeah, they all chose to like be different professions. Like, I want to be a
Oh,
doctor.
right. Okay, yeah, they're not pirates anymore, right?
Yeah.
The crew has been disbanded.
The crew's been
Oh
disbanded.
man, I forgot about that. That was so sad.
That was like the final end. It's like Captain Usopp is going off.
Definitely a pattern in One Piece where
And like just big old tears from every single kid and Usopp. I'm like,
Yeah.
damn, that's a lot of dedication to this art.
yeah.
It was a full page.
Oh, just wait. I can't believe he draws what he draws.
I know, that's why I was like very excited.
But
So back to Baratie.
yeah.
Then, more fights break out. Luffy starts doing Luffy things. Crazy Don Krieg has, I pay to win written all over him. Literally paid for the world's strongest armor, paid for awesome shield thing, paid for armor to have guns in it, paid for shield to have guns and bombs.
Fight's kind of dirty.
Very dirty.
He has a spiked cape.
Spiked cape, a lance with a bomb on it.
Kind of cool, actually, not to think about.
Actually, the lance didn't have just a bomb. It always exploded when it hit.
Yeah.
It had infinite ammo, explosions.
Yeah. Never explained, but cool nonetheless. So the Krieg pirates, anyways, they all come back, right? And they're wreaking havoc.
Yeah, but then after, what happened after? Because I remember a lot of the pirates got like out of the fight, and it was just Luffy versus Don Krieg, and they're like cheering Don Krieg on from far away.
Right.
And while Luffy and Don Krieg were fighting, the Don Krieg just kept on trying to find ways to drag him underwater.
Right.
The last being the final net after Luffy broke through his armor, punched him through his cape, sent him to the
That's
sky.
a great moment. That's a moment where that's a Luffy moment where it's like, oh, this guy doesn't fuck around.
No,
Like
Luffy axe kick.
Yeah.
Where he snapped the boat, but then he's like, oh, I snapped the boat. I am Luffy.
Oh man, I mean it's a good fight. Listen, I'm not gonna put too much emphasis on this fight. I'm not gonna lie.
No. For me, I was like, this is the first high octane
that's actually what's
series
more
for me, because there was also Pearl, the
Right.
big dude with like
who has like he looks like a
big shield.
like a shield plate man.
Yeah, he just clapped you.
Who throws fire?
No. It's when he gets riled up. For some reason, the shield man immolates himself.
Yeah.
And turns into a fireball shield.
Yeah. Like something about his past where like he was like born in the wild and like he had like a defense mechanism. Hilarious. Actually, I shouldn't laugh at his trauma, but he's a fictional character.
Yeah.
So,
hilarious. That he literally turns into flames.
Yeah. He literally turns into flames. Sanji kind of fights that guy a little bit, right?
Yeah, that's why I think it was Sanji getting clapped by him, like getting his teeth. Like,
right.
I think at one point he got clapped in the face.
Yeah. That's a pretty heavy hit.
Yep. And then it was Sanji and Zoro versus Zoro's out for the count. He's like bleeding and dead.
He almost dies,
dead.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's just Sanji fighting this, which he eventually like gets the. And then one point Jin comes back and
defends Don Krieg, by the way.
Correct.
Because he's loyal.
Yep. And then there's a whole lot of switching. He's like, I can't do it, Don Krieg.
I know. Yeah.
There's just no heart for it.
It's weird when we think about these early characters because they hype him up. They hype up Jin. Like Krieg hypes him up. He has like a line of dialogue where he's like,
pretty strong.
He's like, Jin was a cold-blooded. Like he just
didn't
listen to people's screams and stuff. And it's almost ridiculous how much they hype up these characters in the beginning because like it all makes sense for the story, but the tone shifts, I think, a little bit going forward because this is really establishing like the lore of the Grand Line. I think is what's happening right now.
Yeah.
But once you're in the Grand Line, like there's still like there's high stakes, but there's also the goofy moments at the same time. But like all this like lore and hype of like Jin, like beating the shit out of each other and listening to their screams and stuff. I'm just like, that's funny how piratey and dark it was, at the beginning of the series.
There's a whole lot of
I'm not saying that it doesn't change, but
is it masochism? Wanting to like just accepting pain or accepting being hurt?
Yeah, and it's all tied back to the Grand Line.
Yeah, it's all tied back to this is my purpose. Oh, this is my honor. Yeah, stab me in the face. I don't care. Stab me in the heart.
Right.
I will take this death.
That's Zoro's honor specifically, which is what it is.
It is.
in regards to the Grand Line, it's just like it's supposed to be these really rough seas, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's like people are supposed to.
Which to me, I still don't fully understand how they're gonna make it seem that way. Personally, like just
interesting.
Because I just don't know the magnitude that
That's
they're
true.
going to like.
The magnitude.
I don't understand yet.
Yeah.
Like I just had baratie. They just fighting on a boat that was a ship's boat.
Yeah. I mean that's very fair for where you're at in the series. So we'll just,
I just got to hear about. Oh, this is East Blue.
Yeah.
I just saw that part of the map.
Don't even look at them. You're not even going to get the map, dude. It's so hard to explain. But the world is separated into 4 seas.
Yep.
East Blue, West Blue, and North and South Blue. Everybody's from a different part of the world.
Mm-hmm.
I believe Shanks is from the West Blue, if I'm not mistaken. But that was just in like a data book or something. Yeah. Don't think too hard about it right now.
Okay.
The Grand Line also is its own separate thing and like circumnavigating the world pretty much.
Yeah, which
when we get to the Grand Line, I'll try to break it down for you. How about that?
But here's like the one thing that I'm wondering. Is this a flat earth?
It's not.
Because the Grand Line would go in a circle. So where is the end of the Grand Line?
There's again, we don't need to go into this because it's not going to mean anything to you.
Yeah.
Imagine like one landmass. There's one continent in the entire world that goes around the globe.
Okay.
And then everything else is archipelago, so just islands.
Okay.
There's only one continent.
Yeah, but where's the end?
Again, we'll get that.
Okay, that's why I like.
Because there's different parts of the Grand Line, and then there's a whole other section that's like where we're at now in the end game.
The end game. All right, good.
It's not space yet.
Luffy in space.
I guarantee.
Please.
It's on the table. It's on the table.
If it Darling in the Franks this, I think I'm gonna fucking scream.
You and me both, brother.
Space.
You think? Yeah.
We're sailing to space.
Oh man. But anyways, Luffy shows his tenacity, I think, against Krieg.
Oh, for sure. For sure. I thought he showed tenacity when he spring loaded his head and smashed in the Catman.
Oh yeah. I forget about all this.
Like
this is like, oh my god.
I would say one thing: Luffy has some creative ways of like taking out a foe.
He does. Considering how like weird his power is, we'll talk about this.
Creative ways, I appreciate.
Yeah,
I appreciate a lot.
Oh, it gets more creative. I guarantee that much.
Yeah.
But his power for a shonen main antagonist isn't that crazy. He's made out of rubber.
Yeah.
And there's a lot more quote unquote cooler powers, I would argue, on the Grand Line.
I can bet. I saw buggies.
Yeah. And if you think buggies is cooler, just wait, right?
Yeah, because my thing, what I realized about buggy was that I personally feel like buggy had, if I had to guesstimate, a B A tier power with an F tier utilization and skill.
That's actually a very fair assessment.
Because there are many things that would make that a little unbearably difficult to deal with.
And you picked up on that Shanks and Buggy were in the same crew, right? When they were cabin boys. Okay, cool.
Yeah, they were homies, and then Shanks became way good.
Yeah. They took different paths in the series.
Yeah, Buggy took fruit.
God, Buggy didn't want the fruit. And so as Baratie is wrapping up, though, right?
Baratie wrapped up. We find out Sanji's best cook has always been best cook. Everyone hated him for it. They have an awesome send-off moment where Sanji decides to join the crew and be the cook.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, man. And like, wait, while all this happened, where's Nami? She dipped with their boat.
I mean, she's a thief. What did they expect, man?
Oh, yeah. She literally said it as like a personal monologue.
Yeah.
She's like, I'm a thief. All right, I'm going to go here.
I mean, I want to go back to the touching send-off because that legendary,
Legendary send-offs?
No.
That's already One Piece.
They're I feel
like I have constant airport effect.
That is One Piece. You're going to have that. Yeah. One Piece. But it's touchy. It's real touchy moments, like the line with Zeph where it's like, I'm pretty sure the whole gag is like they just call each other like crap chef or shit chef.
They're just calling shit.
And then he goes, hey, Sanji. He calls him by his name. Hey, Sanji.
I didn't even catch that.
He goes, hey, Sanji, keep your feet dry. And then Sanji just breaks down. He just breaks down, turns around.
Yeah.
And he's like, Chef Zeph, you know, you've done all this. Yeah. And maybe it's because, you know, that there's moments like this with our main Straw Hat protagonist, you know, and cast. But I always love that moment. And that's one that's memorable to me, for sure.
No.
Yeah.
1,000%. One Piece is constant airport effect.
I think that's a good way of saying it.
They
I really do.
really strong send-offs.
Yeah.
Because they really make you feel like you might actually never see these people again.
Right. That's very true, too. You might see some, you may not.
Yeah, which, I mean, that's fair. Because it replays that same feeling while also adding more people to the pot.
Well, I mean, just adding on that, it's about sailing the seas and adventure, right?
Yeah.
It's about meeting people and never forgetting the relationships that you made, even though you're going off and traveling.
Yeah,
that's a huge part of it, right? Where it's like the legacy of Zeph's legacy to Sanji, he's never gonna forget.
Correct.
You know?
It's all about the people that leave imprints on you.
Inherited will.
Inherited will.
It's all about that, and it's a perfect story because it's about pirates traveling the world, right? And inherited will is something that exists in real life too.
For sure.
You know,
a lot of people find it's like, oh, this has been my life's passion because X happened.
Yeah.
Happens everywhere.
Oh yeah, and that's something I've always taken to heart, whether it's, you know, people you lose or whether it's people you haven't seen. It's like they will always have their impact on you.
Do you have any inherited will?
I do, but I'll bring it up. There's a time for
when
I'm gonna bring up the actual inherited will.
Okay. I'm looking
a very very low point in the series, but it all connects together. It's gonna be in a while, but hopefully people will remember I said it now.
Yeah. But actually, on that note, from where am I reading to next? What's the next on the plan? Can you check your list?
Yeah, I should check it.
Because I want to know. And also our listeners or viewers.
Actually, I mean, they can, if anybody sees this, they can actually tell me what I can tweak about. This is what I plotted out for Matthew here.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Why we talk. Talk so much. Okay, I found it. Okay, okay, so up next, it's actually not that much. You're reading 69 through 100.
Okay, so it's like a small piece, but it's like meaty enough for like cool stuff happens?
Yeah. A lot of stuff happens.
Arlong Park.
It's called Arlong Park, and then you're going to do Rogue Town, which is it's a pretty poetic arc for the story.
Okay.
Is the way to say it.
So it helps.
So that's two small arcs.
Helps blossom big stuff.
It's where it's what. It's so hard to describe, man. Right now, I'll let you read it, and then I'll probably have better words.
Arlong Park to Rogue Town.
Yeah.
Cool.
Rogue Town, it's called Logue Town in the anime because there's no R's in Japanese, so
Logue Town.
That's why Alabasta is Arabasta, and
Arabasta.
People get the gist of it.
Gotcha.
After that mini chunk, which would probably be a shorter pod than this one, is Alabasta, and I just said, the Alabasta Saga. Okay.
Saga.
So let me see. And then I have you read 101 through 154, which is Reverse Mountain arc through the Drum Island arc.
Okay.
And then I have you take a break, and then you read the Alabasta arc, which is 155 through 217.
Yeah.
So people can give thoughts about that. But pretty much the Alabasta Saga, I pretty much chunked it out as I gave you several arcs, which are all connected to Alabasta, but they're their own separate arcs. So there's that, and then the Alabasta arc itself.
Gotcha. Okay, this is good.
Yeah.
So, like, everything in the next, like, 40, actually, like, 30-ish chapters, 68 to 100 and something.
It's only going to go up from here.
Yeah, so it's, like, a small piece that just, like, helps prep me for a big chunk of things to happen.
No, the Arlong Park and I separated...
And Rogue Town?
I just separated them because they're just their own standalone arcs.
So they have thematically their own thing.
Yeah, they have nothing, like... directly connected to the Alabasta story.
Okay, that's why.
And then Rogue Town is in itself. It's in volume 12, by the way. I don't have it, but the volume 12 cover is actually pretty important. Rogue Town arc is I always find myself coming back to it because it's very poetic for
a character.
No, just like what the story
Themes,
is.
just
yeah,
themes.
the themes, and then
That's
like
what I said. That's what I said. Theme building is like the next piece.
yeah,
Little theme building, little story building, little world building.
you think about Roger more, the king of the pirates and stuff.
Interesting.
I don't know,
So it's like adding more mystery to the
Rogue
Grand
Town's an
Line.
important place, and I'm just being very vague right now because I don't want to say anything about it yet. But it's its own thing as well.
Yeah. Which
so there's that.
You all can look forward to in about a week from whenever this goes up.
If we got all the audio.
Yeah, if we got all the audio.
If this worked.
If this actually worked.
If
well,
not, we just stood and talked about One Piece for 4 hours, which isn't that bad of a time. Like that's
genuinely
what I wish I could have more in my life.
Yeah, this was great.
But we'll try to clean it up a little bit and going forward. But
before we go,
yeah,
who do you think is my current favorite character?
Oh, Sanji.
It is not actually. And do you want to know why it's not Sanji?
Why?
His interaction with Nami.
Oh, dude, that's not the last time that's gonna happen.
Oh, I know it's gonna happen a lot.
All right, Gaimon.
Gaimon is my favorite side.
okay. Usopp?
No.
What the fuck? Who is it?
It's definitely Zoro.
I didn't want to guess Zoro because Zoro's everybody's favorite character.
I respect the swordsman. The swordsman way.
He's going to be... There's not a lot that Zoro does that isn't cool. In the entire series. They just make sure. I almost don't say Zoro is my favorite character anymore just because people say it so much.
That's fine.
So, there's that. But it's a great choice.
Second best is Luffy.
Yeah. It's so funny.
Luffy just means so well and tries so hard. I just wish that
it's because Luffy
he didn't just randomly destroy everything.
Yeah, we'll see how that changes because Luffy it's almost like the question always is posed to people: who is your favorite character minus Luffy? Because
Luffy might always end up just being because of the summation of everything.
Right. Luffy is almost just on another pedestal. He's almost just above all the characters in the series.
I mean, he kind of already feels that
as
way.
the main character. And Oda loves Luffy. Like Oda always will write with Luffy.
Write well for Luffy.
Write well for Luffy. He likes showing Luffy. And we all love Luffy.
Mm-hmm. He's great.
Yeah. He's not.
He means too well for you to ever actually be mad at him.
He's just so genuine.
Yes, he's a genuine,
the most genuine,
lovable dumbass. No, maybe not dumb. He honestly just has like.
Oh no, he's a dumbass.
He's pretty stupid.
He's a misunderstood genius. Is also.
I can't say he's
genius. Okay.
He's creative.
All right, we'll figure that out. I'll
give him combat creativity so far.
We'll see where this goes. But I'm happy that you're on your journey, man.
Yeah, I need to see him do something crazy with a toe.
That'll happen.
Stretchy toe.
There's plenty of stuff that he can do.
So far, I think best panels were him doing the wrapped slingshot head smash on the Catman that I can't climb a door, or the amazing axe kick.
That's cool. That's cool. I love how those stuck with you. I think everybody. This is totally subjective to people at this point. My favorite is when he punches the spikes.
That was pretty sick.
Whenever you can't see Luffy's eyes, and he looks like a badass, sign me up. I'm all there for it.
The demon look.
It's the move, man.
Yeah, he's got it.
That's the dude right there.
Yeah. Oh, and then amazing consolation to the Usopp and his squad all crying. That panel was just beautiful. Yeah,
and again, I haven't thought about that scene in years. And
everyone cries in the show, and I'm only on like 6%.
Get ready to cry some more.
Yeah.
All right.
Perfect. And with that,
let's do an outro.
You guys still going?
We're done.
We just finished.
Oh my god.
That's how it ends right there.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Perfect fucking timing.
7:30.